about 2 years ago, myself and Billy Powers, who's not here. And basically what we do is we just open the forum up to everybody. This is a way for people in the community to get information that they don't normally get. And it's a way for us to tell the community all the great things going on in the city. And so basically, we're not politically affiliated or anything like that. We just kind of open it up for everyone. The last few guests have been Amara and Nia. We had Karen Lewis. We also had
Alden Fioretti's
been by. So we've had pretty much everyone who's running our candidates throughout the year. And we'll do it as well for the Aldermanic candidates in 2015, trying to get as many people here as possible. And sometimes over a quarter in some districts. So I will turn it over to Charles.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to turn it directly to Doc Walls. We're going to start. We normally do a no card section, so you write down your question on the no card. And that's really to control the environment because sometimes people will go on a tangent. But the candidate has requested that we don't use no cards and that he's open to actual open debate and that. So without further ado, I introduce Doc Walls.
Thank you very, very much. How's everybody doing? Good to see you all. I'm Doc Walls. I was born and raised in Chicago. Actually, I was raised most of my life right here in the South Shore area. I graduated Horace Mann Elementary over at 81st in Jeffrey. Chicago Vocational High School right at 87th in Jeffrey. Tuskegee University and IIT-Chicago-Kent College of Law. Back in 1983, when Harold Washington announced his candidacy for mayor, every fiber of my being stood up, and I knew I had to get involved. So I took a leave of absence from law school. I helped organize the Lawyers Committee for Harold Washington, served as president of law students for Harold, served as his administrative assistant and his assistant scheduler. But as his confidential assistant, I traveled locally and nationally with him and helped to shape the reform government that we grew to know and love. As a candidate for mayor of the city of Chicago, my goal is to help people unthink their economics and develop a smart economy which guarantees every Chicago resident a better quality of life. And a smart economy includes the proliferation of cleaner, greener, more energy efficient and technologically advanced manufacturing plants, a series of public-private partnerships funded by our capital improvement program so that we can create jobs in our communities, but certainly keep the infrastructure sound. That infrastructure includes transportation and education. We have a $7.4 billion capital improvement program which will be played out over the next 5 years. And we want to impact that. It's a moving target. It depends upon what the needs are, but the mayor is in control of that money that's already been approved by the city council. So we can go in and develop programs based upon our policies and our philosophy, which immediately impact our communities. Now, education is critical. We have to provide a superior public school education for each and every individual child. I recognize that it's not one size fits all, but instead, every single child has different concerns and different needs. We have to be ready to meet those needs. We have the resources from the federal and state government to do that. But the goal is to ensure that we are providing not just reading, writing, math, and science, but providing opportunities to learn the arts, the humanities, civics, foreign languages, giving children the opportunity to participate in sports, both organized and intramural, having recess so that they get to know each other outside of the classroom. Excuse me. So they get to know each other outside of the classroom. And at the end of the day, we want to make sure that they're human beings who are capable of going out and living the American dream. So we're fighting for superior public school education for each and every child. We have to have irreproachable public safety services in Chicago. Our police department has low morale. We have to change the condition, not just in terms of the policies, practices, procedures, equipment, training, deployment, response time, and overall performance, but also in terms of making certain that the entire police and fire department, ranking rank, file, and command is proportionately reflective of the city's population, Black, white, Latino, and Asian. We have to unify this city by promoting cultural diversity and sensitivity amongst people of all ages, races, socioeconomic backgrounds, because none of us is any better than the rest of us. So we want to make sure that everybody is included in the Chicago. Currently, we have two different Chicagos. It's a great place to live if you're rich, if you got money, but if you're broke, it'll break you down. Chicago is difficult. Tourism does not come past 53rd Street. Places like this ought to be on the tourism map. This is a great place to gather. And when people come to Chicago, they should have the opportunity to talk to people in neighborhoods so they get a feeling for the flavor that is Chicago, the things that make us unique. We're a hustling, bustling city by the lake. And people need to know that. They need to see all of Chicago and all of this magnificence. So we're working hard to really develop this city and develop an attitude that says we care, we can, and we are one Chicago. There are a lot of things to talk about, but I'd like to open the floor to everybody here and answer questions so that you get to know who we are, what we stand for, and how we address the issues that are important in Chicago. So, can we open the floor for any questions?
If you have any questions, just stand up, state your name, and then state your question. Now, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
My name is Charles Cal. I'm a South Shore resident. And how do you feel about the charter school versus public school issue that's going in Chicago?
In 2002, I led the initiative to fight Renaissance 2010. I said then, and I still say that Renaissance 2010 is and was a diabolical initiative designed to weaken the foundation of public school education and facilitate the privatization of schools. And if allowed to run its course, it would decimate the ranks of the Chicago's teachers union because charter schools can't have the teachers school organizing it. Teachers union can't organize a charter school. It would disenfranchise the students because many students are made to ride past very desirable schools in their own neighborhood to get to less desirable underperforming schools. The community would be eliminated from the process because you can't have local school councils in charter schools. Now, having said all of that, we're in a new day and age. Charter schools are a new reality. We just have to figure out how to balance charter schools and public schools because the horse is out of the barn. I'm not here to offend anyone who has children in charter schools or would prefer to put their children in charter schools. But suffice it to say, we don't want to get to the point where the fees in charter schools become unbearable for parents who are struggling to make ends meet and consequently are unable to keep their children in those schools. So you guys had to go. Thank you so much. Thank you for signing my petition. And thanks for leaving your contact information. Yes, sir.
Dr. Ross, Eric Russell, I'm an insurance executive. Despite all of my business interests, what I'm most concerned about as a Chicagoan and as a parent is the safety of my child. I have so many hopes and dreams and aspirations and programs she's involved with. I heard you mention the sensitivity training for officers. As mayor, will you have a formulated plan as it relates to just keeping our kids a little safer and sort of quelling the violence just as much as any elected official could?
Thank you very much. Yes, the answer is absolutely yes. One of the things that we discovered in 2002 is when they closed down Inglewood High School and sent all of those students over to Hyde Park, the violence level spiked. You had child against child, child against teacher, child against parent, teacher against teacher, teacher against parent. It created chaos. And rather than realizing that that was a problem, CPS continued to close more schools and send children across gang lines in Chicago. Gang lines are a reality in Chicago. It's a fact of life. So you can't send children into dangerous conditions because it hardens them, toughens them, it makes them fight, and where there are fights, there's disorder. So the thing that we have to do is establish the neighborhood schools again so that children are safe during the day in that school environment. We also have to have better policing. Chicago's policing is reactionary rather than proactive. So the first thing that we have to do is declare a state of emergency in Chicago. And that doesn't mean bringing in the National Guard, the Illinois State Policemen, or the feds. It's right here at home. We have to take those police officers who are on desk duty and don't need to be on desk duty and put them back out into the streets. Put them on foot patrol, horseback, bicycle, in cars, in areas where people are most vulnerable. And those are your parks, your schools, your libraries, business centers, around grocery stores, currency exchanges, banks, those economic centers where people are doing business and thieves and other people make prey on our senior citizens and the young people who are weak, afflicted, infirm, and disoriented. So you have to have more police officers on the street. You have to stop police officers from writing parking tickets and have them pay attention to the needs of these children out here and give them an opportunity to get to know the children in those communities through beat patrols and things that I talked about, bicycle patrols and the like. You have to have high visibility roll calls in areas where there is danger, where it's been proven that there's a high crime risk. So you take those police officers and have high visibility roll calls. You also take those trainees, police trainees, and have them train on the street in those areas so that they're actually providing presence. Because where there's presence, there's deterrence. Our laws provide safety for the children. It's just having the ability to effectuate that message.
Absolutely.
So,
Thank you, sir.
Of course,
yes, sir.
we have kind of two questions asked. My first question is, there are about 4 or 5 black candidates running for mayor. Do you think that's going to split up and divide the black communities? And the second question is, I hear that Romney wants to pay reparation to the people who were victims of John
Yeah. First of all, I'm not a black candidate for mayor of the city of Chicago. I'm a progressive candidate for mayor of the city of Chicago who happens to be black. And I understand the needs of the African American community, the Latino community, the white community. I understand the needs of the Asian community. And their concern is really just to be left alone. We understand. So I approach this from a different perspective. I believe that the more the merrier is the better for us. I don't believe in censorship. I believe that anyone who believes they have something to offer should get out here. All right, take care. Thanks a lot. Should get out here and run and add to the debate and add to the discussion. And if they're able to get the 12,500 signatures required to have their name on the ballot, then they are a candidate for mayor of the city of Chicago. So I don't believe in the censorship. And I don't think that matters because under the current law, a candidate has to get 50% plus 1 vote to win. If no one gets that, then there's a runoff between the top 2 vote getters. So the people decide who the 2 candidates are at the end of the day. And I'm not going to get into prognostication about who I think those 2 candidates might be at this point in time because it's far too early. Anything can happen. Last week, we were talking about Karen Lewis. And I'm praying for her and her family, but things change. They change rapidly.